Well, essentially, Richard Jeffrey Glenville was the family lawyer, and he made a lot of headlines for all the wrong reasons, and I, for one, wanted nothing to do with him. He took a one-way ticket to Rio to escape the media's attention. Instead, it backfired. He ended up...
Why was he in the media?
Well, he touched money that wasn't his, and he was a lawyer. He was a trusted member of society, as is every lawyer who has a trust account. He's doing it on behalf of his clients. Anyhow, it was a very, very difficult season economically for the whole of the country. And this is no excuse. I do not condone any of his actions. Again, it's before I met him. However, he made some very unwise decisions. To get out of circulation with a one-way ticket to Rio wasn't really an answer.
Yep.
Because unfortunately, when his girlfriend followed 3 months later, she happened to have some morphine on her, although prescribed, but the Brazilians thought, and maybe he was her drug dealer and so forth. They looked him up on Interpol, and lo and behold, he was wanted. So the Australian government said, hold him. He had not committed a crime in Brazil. Okay? Hold him. The hold him went on for 15 months. It was awful. Lined up like sardines, in the size of a couple of bathrooms with a hole in the corner.
This is a Brazilian prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Handful of rice, handful of black beans. That was it. No bedding.
I bet you he regretted skipping country.
Well, I think he would have regretted going down to the airport to meet his girlfriend. I mean, that in itself.
Oh, so he got in. And
he was there for 3 months.
Yeah, gotcha.
He was living the life. The police and his family had no idea where he was. You see, he had this situation where his name was Richard Jeffrey Glenville. Now, his friends, and including his mother from the moment he was born, was always called Jeff. But as soon as the police saw his birth certificate and found out his identity, they rang all the cousins and all the relatives and friends. Have you seen Richard? They're going, this must be the media or it must be the police because we don't know Richard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was a bit of a barrier for the police.
Yep.
They had no idea. That took him about 6 months before they found out really where he was. That gave him some breathing space. His intention was to come back to Australia when things settled down a bit. But of course it was magnified out of proportion by being arrested and thrown into this hellhole. I quite frankly don't know how he lasted mentally. He said that he went into himself to avoid all the other international prisoners that he was locked up with.
Yeah. What do you mean by that? Went into himself?
Well, that's how he survived mentally. He didn't have communication with the others. The others were from other South American countries.
Yep.
And there are a lot of countries who have, to this day, tried to have an extradition treaty with Brazil. We don't have one. It was the intent of the Australian government to try and get an extradition treaty. Hold him, we'll have talkie. It produced nothing. There were several attempts by the Australian government and it did not bode well, especially for him, because he said, I just want to go home, take me home. Eventually he did. He came back in September 75 after being away for, I don't know, at least 18 months or so.